Welcome to Wild Breakaway alongside Wes Walz. I'm Audra Martin. Last season, the Wild were a perfect 3-for-3 against the Vegas Golden Knights, and for the majority of this home opener tonight for the Wild, it looked like they were going to go 4-for-4, but unfortunately, the Golden Knights, a very talented team, they took advantage of an opportunity, forcing overtime, the eventual shootout, and the visitors come out on top, winning it 2-1 in the shootout.
Yeah, I thought the Wild come out at home. Obviously, anytime you're playing at home, you want to come out and show your fans you're ready to go. I thought the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game, the Wild did have a lot of jump early in the game. They were able to get a big goal by Matt Dumba to take the 1-0 lead into the end of the first period. Second period, the Minnesota Wild started to turn over a lot of pucks. The ice really started to tilt, and Devan Dubnyk was unbelievable in the second period. Made 4 or 5 grade A point-blank chances to keep this at 1-0. They lost a face-off with about a minute and a half left in the third period, and when they had 6 players on the ice with the goalie out, and they were unable to keep the puck out of their net. You know, tough one anytime you give up a goal late and not winning in overtime. I know they got a point, but it kind of feels like a loss right now. But the Minnesota Wild have a couple days off right now, so they can work on some things in practice and get right. They're just a little off right now.
All right, well, here's a look at tonight's final stats for the second straight game. The Wild giving up 40-plus shots on net, 30 for the Minnesota Wild. Last season, they did have one of the best home penalty kills in the league, and it looks like that's picking up right where they left off, killing off all 3 of their penalties here tonight, but they go 0-for-2 on the man advantage. But once again tonight, Devan Dubnyk, the best player on the ice for the Minnesota Wild, keeping his team in this one late. And here's what the head coach had to say about his netminder.
He's seen the puck. I mean, touch wood, we don't want it to stop. But 2 years ago, he had this kind of game right till March, where he'd, win his hockey games on his own. And right now, he's playing as well as anybody. To have only 1 point and his goals against is 1.5 is not fair to him.
So the Wild will look for their first win of the season when they get back to work on Thursday, welcoming the Chicago Blackhawks to town. We get back to Central Division action. We always know is very exciting, and this is a Chicago team with a lot of pressure on them right now. They had a very off season last year, bounced right away in the postseason 2017. Everybody knows they're kind of on high alert. They got to have a good showing because there could be some changes if they don't get things back on track. But so far, so good. They're 2-0 so far.
Well, if that team's going to have any success in the Central Division, it has to happen with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. Those are the guys that carried those Chicago teams a few years ago to Stanley Cup wins, and both of them got OT winners. Patrick Kane got the game 1 got the OT, and Jonathan Toews got the overtime winner against the Blues here tonight. So difficult task for the Wild. Like I mentioned earlier, they're going to get 3-4 days to work on a few things. The team's just they're not in sync right now. Obviously, something's not completely right. And Bruce Boudreau, he mentioned in his post-game presser, they're going to watch the tape really close. The guys got the day off. I'm sure the coaches will be down there at some point tomorrow and watching the game and trying to figure things out. Wouldn't be surprised at any point, some point, if things get juggled up a little bit. But listen, 2 games into the season, home record still intact, 14-0.
Still unbeaten in regulation. Yep,
amazing run. Yep. Amazing to have played 17 games here at home. We were an expansion team. You weren't here, but we were an expansion team the first 3-4 years. We were playing Detroit, some of those high-end teams, and we were still winning at home. It's just an amazing record, and we get to talk about it again next year in the opener here in St. Paul. 14-0-4. Unbelievable. And
tonight it's really thanks in large part to Devan Dubnyk. We'll see if he can keep that going on Thursday night. We'll see if the Wild can get 2 points this time on home ice. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. In the meantime, for Wes Walz, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on Wild Breakaway.